today's video, we will be looking at the first cartoon appearance of that legendary protector of the realm. That's right, I'm talking about the Mighty Hercules. So, alright, Olympia!
Alright, so we start off on Olympus, where two best friends, Hercules and Theseus, are having some friendly competitions. They are trying to determine who is the mightiest of the two. And very fittingly, it's very Olympic-like, you know? Events such as a marathon race, which Hercules wins by leaping over Theseus and the finish line. Actually, is that a legal maneuver in a race? Pretty sure you kind of have to have your feet on the ground, right? Maybe it's different rules up there. In the next event, we have wrestling. Oh yeah! They're fighting for the Intercontinental Championship belt, yeah! To which Hercules wins again with a body flip, body slam. And, well, I'm not sure if there were more events before that race. Maybe, maybe not. But nonetheless, with at least these two victories, Hercules is determined to be the champion. Part of his victory lap is to be congratulated personally by Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, and father of most of the Greek gods, including Hercules. And for this championship, he doesn't get a belt like Macho Man Randy Savage would. No, he gets a wish granted. And for Hercules, he wishes to travel to the Earth's surface so he can help the humans and protect them from all sorts of dangers. You know, like a superhero, which is very noble of him. But, alas, this is not possible. As Zeus states, Hercules' godlike powers would vanish if he went to the Earth's surface, where Hercules would basically be a mere mortal. So, you know, Herc could go down to the surface and maybe help out, you know, in a soup kitchen or babysitting or something, you know? But wait! Zeus has a plan! He majestically turns an ordinary ring into a fancy power ring. A ring which would enable Hercules to retain his powers while on Earth as long as he's wearing the thing. So why couldn't Zeus just go with that right out of the bat, you know? Why have to crush his spirits by saying, yeah man, you can't really do that or else you'd be immortal, you know? This Zeus guy, hey? What a tease! So with this fancy ring and a couple of weapons, Hercules leaps down to the planet's surface with his loincloth flapping in the wind, you know, giving everybody a really good show within a 5-mile radius. And while on Earth, he instantly meets a human known as Helena. And she is as sad and depressed as she is smoking hot. Oy. She's really sad because this giant known as Cacus has been terrorizing the villagers. What with stealing their farm animals, destroying their dwellings, you know, basically being a full-time jerk. And, well, I guess realistically, yeah, like, a giant such as he really has no opposition at this point, right? Like, you know, the villagers can try to fight against him, but what mortal can stop a giant? Well, except for David and his slingshot, I guess. But he doesn't live around these parts, so it's sad time for our villager friends. But not for long, because Hercules decides to pay this giant jerk a little visit. And understandably, you know, Cacus really isn't impressed with Hercules. Who is this? Just some other random human? Bah! So he sicks his fire-breathing dragon on Hercules. Sorry, his what? His fire-breathing dragon? So this guy isn't dangerous enough, you know, by being an all-powerful giant? But he has a fire-breathing dragon as a pet? Huh? Yeah, hey, no wonder no one is going up against this guy. But the mighty Hercules stands his ground. And instead of this dragon burning Hercules to a crisp with his fire breath, the dragon chooses to give Hercules a body slam and tries to smother him to death. But Hercules, he is unsmotherable. He picks this dragon up with the greatest of ease, gives it a spinamaroo helicopter ride by its tail, and tosses this dragon on top of Cacus, where the two will be knocked out and severely concussed for quite some time. So the day is saved! Hooray! And with that is the end of this, Mighty Tale.
Like, I can't begin to tell you how much I love that cartoon. Holy jeez, eh? Like, this one was a total staple of my youth. This cartoon would actually signal the end of Saturday morning cartoons, you know, like where I lived anyway. You know, so it was Spider-Man, then it was Hercules, and then it was the local news, which meant Saturday morning cartoons are over for the day. And that I would have to go outside and bask in the glory of that burning fireball in the sky. And like run around and do kid stuff, you know, whatever we did, right? But yeah, man, Hercules, like, holy crap, like, what an awesome show. Basically like the superheroes, you know, of ancient times. And I was all for it, man. Like, anytime I found some kind of a ring or something that kind of substituted as a ring, I would be doing my best Hercules impersonation, you know? Put the ring on, the fist in the air, doing that, you know, the lightning striking and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, man. Huh? And for pretty much like everyone else I knew, man, we all pretty much felt the same way about this cartoon. A cartoon that may or may not give you the best account, you know, of like ancient Greece and like the ancient religions there and all that stuff. This episode, the first one, man, is quite a bit different than every other. More specifically, the art. Like, holy crap, right? Like, this series was pretty stylish and did have its, you know, unique twist on things. But this first pilot episode, like, man, it just looked so much better, you know, to me anyway. Fantastic indeed! So it being like a 5-minute episode, you know, like, I think my recap might have been a little bit longer than the episode itself. But, you know, it's a 3-part story that you cruise through real quick, right? So you don't have a whole lot of time to dwell on things, but still, you know. What of Cacus? Sure, you know, like, he was defeated at the end of the episode, right? But, you know, like, really, would that just make him angrier and he would attack the villagers more? Would he move to another part of Greece and reign terror there? Or would he change his ways and be a jolly giant? We didn't have enough time about that stuff, so I guess we'll never know. But, you know, either way, hooray! But, as I say, you know, fantastic cartoon, awesome series, great characters. So if you haven't seen this series before, you know, do yourself a favor and check it out. But with that, we do have some more behind the scenes kind of things about Hercules, Olympia, and all that kind of crazy stuff going on over here.
Okay, so yeah, the mighty Hercules. So how did we get to the creation of this series? Let me tell you. So back in the 50s and 60s, there was a pretty popular genre of movies known as sword and sandal. Basically movies taking place in the ancient times. More predominantly, it would be tales of ancient Greece or ancient Rome or even biblical tales. And a lot of these movies were pretty epic. So the powers that be at Adventure Cartoon Productions and Trans-Lux Television decided that they should bring the sword and sandal genre to children's cartoons, which is what they did. And the best character to use for that would be Hercules. Part of that decision could be attributed to the 1958 movie Hercules and its sequel, Hercules Unchained, the following year, which were both pretty popular at the time. It is neat to note that the uniform for Hercules in the cartoon is quite similar to that of the Hercules in the movie. Just a little bit of inspiration there, hey? So you put all of that together and boom! You have this cartoon! A cartoon which is mostly taken from ancient Greece, although some things may have been changed hither and dither. So let's take a quick look at some of the differences and similarities from the cartoon to the ancient Greece tales. To which we will start at the top with Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, also known as the father of the gods, you know, seeing as he basically banged everybody. But in the cartoon, yeah, he is absolutely depicted as being the head honcho, you know, the big man on campus. And of course, that campus would be Mount Olympus, where the Olympians and, you know, like the gods live and hang out. which is shown being very high in the sky, usually above the clouds, which is how it was depicted, for ancient Greece. However, there really is a Mount Olympus in Greece. It might not have an ancient temple on top of it. I guess I can't say, I've never really been there. But if you want to go on a Hercules pilgrimage, I guess, that's the place to go. And speaking of Hercules, his depiction in this cartoon was pretty similar to that of Hercules, such as him having super strength, being very compassionate, wanting to help and protect the people, being quite intelligent, being quite caring. Yeah, all that stuff, man, that's pretty accurate. The ancient Hercules didn't have a power ring, he was a demigod. His strength did not dissipate on the planet's surface. However, the name Hercules, yeah, that's his name, but it also isn't. Hercules would be the Roman pronunciation of the name, because Hercules was also pretty important in the ancient Rome religions, where his father was not Zeus, but rather Jupiter, the head honcho of the Roman gods. So in ancient Greece, his name is pronounced Heracles, which is still a pretty good name, but really, at the end, a rose by any other name would still smell just as sweet. At the beginning of the episode, Hercules was having a competition with his good friend, Theseus. And indeed, yeah, Theseus was written to be kicking around back then. Although, who the character was, it kind of depends on which account you kind of listen to. Some say that he was a demigod, the son of Poseidon. Others say, nay, he was just a mortal. I guess we'll never know, It is also said that he was the founder of Athens, and that he became king of it later. But Theseus, man, yeah, geez, this guy had a lot of adventures himself, You can make a spin-off series of The Mighty Theseus. The story that he is most known for is him defeating the Minotaur. And defeating villains brings us to Cacus, the giant which Hercules went toe-to-toe with. So indeed, there was ancient tales of Hercules fighting Cacus, and in those tales, Cacus is the son of Vulcan, also known as the god of fire. In those stories, indeed, Cacus was a giant who lived in a cave and was horrible to all the villagers around him. But because he's the son of the god of fire, he could also breathe fire. In this cartoon, however, he did not breathe fire. He had a pet dragon to do that for him, but he was also horrible to the villagers around him and did live in a cave. Also in those ancient tales, Hercules wound up killing Cacus, whereas in this cartoon, he just knocked him unconscious. It would be a pretty dark ending for a kid's cartoon to, totally end this guy, so a happy ending overall, I guess. So in ancient literature, there was the epic tale, The 12 Labors of Hercules. And this episode loosely kind of takes place from the 10th labor. In that labor, Hercules had to obtain the cattle from the giant Geryon, who may have had 3 heads. In the Roman telling of the 12 labors, after Hercules obtained the cattle, Cacus actually stole the cattle from Hercules, which led to Hercules chasing him down and, well, beating the cattle out of him. I guess. Hercules also met the beautiful Helena. I don't think she's necessarily based on any character from ancient tales. One could argue that she was based on Helen of Troy. Both Helen and Helena were considered to be the most beautiful women in the world. However, in this cartoon series, Hercules eventually wound up dating Helena, which, if we consider that Helen of Troy is also the child of Zeus, like Hercules, not so sure that would be a really good thing to show, So Helena may have been somewhat influenced by Helen of Troy, but I do not believe that she is the same character. So for this cartoon series, they usually do show things that are fairly somewhat accurate to ancient tales. Other depictions are not accurate at all. But for this first cartoon, actually it was pretty decent. This, of course, being the first episode, a lot of pilot episodes do get changed when the series is picked up. So the artwork was altered, not quite a bit, but quite a bit enough, Still fairly iconic, but like I say, the artwork in the original episode, just looked fantastic. So Hercules has always been a very popular character, and known throughout the ages. This cartoon series brought Hercules to a brand new audience with a lot more merchandise. But, you know, nobody has a copyright on Hercules, so everybody and their dog basically had some variation of Hercules remade, retold, however you want to put it, in their own spin for their own company. So there will always be depictions of Hercules, which is really cool, but I am kind of biased, so this Mighty Hercules series is definitely my favorite. But that's the basic skinny on the Mighty Hercules, you know, from this point. There will be much more episodes with new locales, new characters, new villains, new creatures, and we will get to those as we get to those. So yeah, with this, that, those, and the other things, I guess, that's that. Also, if you're interested, I created my own comic book channel, 215 Comics, and currently I have created my own cartoon series, The Adventures of the Density, and recently started a radio series featuring my newest character, Elastomorph, with more titles to come. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link up top here to that channel, and some links at the end of the video. Yeah! Right on, and there you go. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it as much as I did making it. Also, feel free to check out the source material that I featured in this video. And if you want to leave a comment on anything you may have liked or things I might have missed in this, you know, feel free to do so. Or anything else, you know, just to say hi. That's cool too. And other than that, you know, have a great day. Thanks.